Yo, yo, yo. Hey, whoa. It's MIA Radio.
Yo.
It's episode 95.
95. We're back.
And we got some special guests.
We have two returning guests.
And a new guest. We got the world record holders for the longest podcast on MIA Radio.
Yes, I believe that.
Something. Some of y'all's favorite.
Yoyi and Frisco. Please refer back to episode 17 to get the full story.
Because we're not going to get into it.
Because it's a long story.
I hope you have a couple days to hear it.
Yeah. Because we don't have time to talk about that.
You have to hear it in parts.
So you guys have some context. And then we have special guest, comedian, singer, songwriter, artist.
Damn, don't oversell it. Wait, no. Let me. Thank you, man. I'm glad to be here.
Mario RAMIL in the building.
Thank you guys for having me. This is awesome. Love it.
We're glad to have you guys in the studio back, but we wanted to have you guys on because you guys got a show that you guys are doing together during these crazy times. DJs, comedians.
There's a whole blend of things happening.
What exactly is it that you guys are doing?
I was telling you guys outside, so I thought initially, like, okay, times are rough, now more than ever you need some comedy, but you need some music, and I have a background in music, so I'm like, I had met them doing the Medianoche shows, and at Blackbird, shout out to Blackbird,
which Zaya is the resident DJ.
Oh yeah,
damn, right? Well, shout out to Blackbird, and dude, I was really inspired by the Chappelle block parties, with the Kanye and the Talib Kweli and just that whole vibe. Right. And I'm like, you know what, dude? Now more than ever, we need something like that. You know what I'm saying? I think people would appreciate that shit. So we linked up. They said they were down, and we're on show 2 now at the Improv.
Nice. Here we are. And to us, like when Mario called us, we were like, "Yo, we're down." I'm like, me and my brother, we're down for everything, Like we said in the last podcast, many hats. Like in the last
not
podcast,
just two.
Not just two. And I'm about the pachanga, and Mario was like, "Yo, let's do this," and I'm like, "Let's give it a try and see what it is." So it's exactly what Mario was saying. It's a pachanga and a comedy show all in one.
That's
what I'm saying.
And that's what we're talking about outside. Like having your own show in the Improv is like kind of a big deal if you're a comedian, especially in Miami. Because I mean, that Improv's been here like a couple years.
Well, that one, but the
one in the Grove.
The one at the Grove was like, I guess the original one,
right.
Where like, dude, I remember that's where I started, and then can I curse?
Yeah, of course.
I think I closed that shit down. I think I was the reason they fucking shut it down. And I remember, was that anything? I remember just being back there, dude, in the green room and seeing like pictures of like Chappelle, Carlin, just the history of people that have been there, and just one day like thinking like, dude, imagine like when you get to headline, or back then they had the marquee where they would write your name on it. Now it's like, now my fat face is up on a TV, but
these guys are marquee guys, bro.
That's the I know, just the feeling. I wanted that shit. I wanted that, but now it's pretty much full circle, dude. They gave me a shot. They're like, yeah, we fuck with you. We've heard of you. I don't bring some fucking people in these, fill these chairs up, dude.
How long have you been doing comedy?
My relationship with stand-up has been a little on and off, but altogether about 7 years.
Okay, wait, yeah. I said comedy, but I meant stand-up. What's the first time you went on stage?
7 years ago.
Damn, so that's pretty.
7 years
ago. You
hear
a lot of people takes years and years for.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like I don't feel like one of those people that I'm like, yeah, I'm a fucking stand up. Like, that's also just me living in my head at the same time. But yeah, I mean, I grew a presence on social media, and that obviously helped. But yeah, I mean, the journey has been, I get relatively quick. I mean, I bombed enough to fucking feels like 20 years. Right. You know what I'm saying? But it's been 7 years, man, 7 years, and on and off because, I have a daughter. I actually got on stage a week before she was born, just to kind of center myself, and I was gonna be a young dad, and it was a weird trip for me.
What were you doing before that?
Dude, I was working at the state attorney's office.
Wow.
In the domestic violence unit, just
zero
gray walls.
Complete opposite.
It was, dude, gray walls. Sometimes I'll ride the elevator with inmates and detectives that are going up to the next floor.
I used to work in the courthouse when I was young.
Really?
Yeah.
The one they here in Graham, Alapata?
Yeah. That was my only job. My only job ever.
It was the first and last.
The first and last. After that, I was already doing clubs, but after that, I'm done.
That was me.
But it was cool to see like everyday law like that. Like you were in the office always, or you were going
I started as a runner, so I would just transport shit. From like the courthouse
to me it felt like 13th 14th grade, right? It was like high school.
What do you fucking mean, man?
I don't know. And public defense, like
this guy's going around like I'm basically a lawyer.
Yeah,
I'm now. I got my bar.
Un accidente,
you all walk in the morning, and like everybody, like, okay, I'm the court reporter, he's the bailiff, and that's the judge. We all have to walk through the same.
But that's just work in general.
No, not really, because I feel like you don't walk into the same door.
That's like 9 and 5 in general, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what he meant. Yeah, because that's that kind of environment. Like it's a 9 to 5.
I mean the school. Obviously the 9 to 5. I'm talking about like spill out, like before school and after school, because you have to walk into the metal.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, there's my state attorney friend.
It does feel like an extension.
And you're all trying to get in. So I don't know. I felt like school.
No, I get what you're saying. It feels like an extension since school. You fucking do Monday through Friday.
Yeah,
just feels like an extension. Yeah, and that's that weird. That's that. Like I would talk to people, dude, that were at the state for 30 fucking years, dude. Yeah. 30 years. Jesus. Just being at the state, just present, dude.
Is that what kind of made you want to jump?
Yeah, dude, like exactly what he just said. You walk in through the metal detectors, you see the same. It's like a fucking cartoon where they say wear the same clothes.
Right.
Like it's just it's like the Rugrats. They never grew up. 20 years.
It's like a simulation. Like, every day the same shit.
It's the same shit.
I mean, I tried to change it up a bit because I was already throwing parties and I was doing happy hours at the time. So, dude, by like the first 4 months, I already had all the judges, everybody partying at the happy hour.
That's true.
Okay, so this is school. I remember in school after this, I used to do parties. You guys go to happy hour? Well, let's go.
Well, I started having people recognize me at the state. So that slowly started. Yeah. Well, dude, I used to, now that I'm away from there, I used to make videos in the fucking offices.
Offense,
well, no one has sent any letters or anything yet, but they would see him like my boss. I literally gave such little fucks that he was like, dude, do you really like this? Like, why are you here, dude? Just like my boss told me that. He was like, that happened just fucking leave.
After working there, I was like, all right, I'm gonna give it one more chance. I started doing a couple more clubs or whatnot, and somebody calls me and they're like, they're looking for a bailiff in Coral Gables. I'm like, bailiff? I've been looking at all this, what everybody does. That's the one. They get paid good bucks. Like nothing really much happens in a courtroom, and like all you have to do is like tackle a guy.
That first week you get shot.
Dude.
Somehow some shit escalates.
That's the day, you know? That's the day.
And I go to the interview and the guy told me the same thing. I walk in there and you have to interview in person with your resume. Like they called me, like, hey, he wants to talk. You're one of the ones that got picked. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, all right, let's see if I got this job. If I get this job, I'm going to do that for a while and see what happens. But this is like pension and this and retirement and all that because I was working in the courthouse.
All that adult talk.
Yeah, I was working in the courthouse.
Yeah, they're giving you that whole spiel.
I'm like,
you got an independence? You're like, what the fuck does that mean? I got a dog.
That's dope. All right, cool. I go talk to the dude. And I sit down. As soon as I sit down, he's like, hey, man, I just want to let you know that I already picked my bailiff. I'm like, so why am I here? He's like, oh, no, I want to sit you down. I want to know why you put in your resume and why you want to do this. I'm like, well, I just wanted like a normal job. He's like, dude, I see marketing, TV, radio, intern, what are you doing here, dude? And like, get out of here. I just wanted to tell you that you should probably go do whatever else you're going to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like
Mario's guy.
So I'm not hired?
Like, well, no.
I already picked the guy.
And that's it. I would have been a little upset, dude. Like, he called me in.
I found out today.
He called me in.
The first thing he told me is like, I already picked my guy. I just wanted to tell you.
Fuck you. You just want to roast my resume?
No, but that's why I came here. This resume stuff is not getting me no money, dude. Like, I came here for that.
I know.
All right, man. Hey, good luck in life, man.
So everybody at the state is basically your experience, his experience. Everybody at the state is like, hey, get the fuck out of here. You should go do some other shit.
Not really. There's people and
nah, attorneys like their job.
Yeah. I mean, there's people that just don't see what we do as a realistic
career
future.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Career.
Right.
So how were you able to, how did you decide to be or I guess get into comedy? You had a decent job, a daughter on the way, And you're like,
I guess
what?
yeah, now's the time.
The other way.
I mean, dude, when you get faced with, for me, it was like I was a young dad. Before that, I was working at the city of Hialeah, like just after school program, just barely making a living. You know, I was living with my mom. Like I was still living a very bachelor teenager kind of life. And when suddenly I got presented with, you know, this thing, and I had to get the real job, and I had to, you know, life just hit full speed, dude. And I'm like, you know, you think you're handling it well, but your fucking mind's processing all this shit, and eventually one day just passes you the check, like, oh look, we're having an anxiety attack right now. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it was like I saw myself going so far left with shit that I didn't want to do, like at the state, and just, you know, button up, suit and tie, you know, clocking in, clocking out, and I never had an opportunity to really. I'm like, dude, I'm about to be a dad. You know, my life has changed so much. What's one variable I can maybe actually control? And it's try this fucking stand-up shit, dude. I mean, your life is going, you know, you got thrown a curveball anyways. Why don't you try this stand-up shit? Just try it. That's the one thing that, and at the time, you know, and I've told you guys about it, but like, you know, I don't know if you guys ever had like that, I think it's called monkey brain or monkey mind, where like your thoughts are just, you can't even control them. And I thought, all right, well, this is the one place I could put my back against the rope is on stage. Like if I have to focus and I can't think about just other shit, I have to try to be funny. And so, dude, with all of that and the also the idea of like, I'm about to be a dad and I want to eventually tell her like, look, dude, I tried it. You know, follow your fucking dreams, as cheesy as that sounds. Like I tried it. I just did it, dude.
She's a star.
I just did it.
Yeah, I see her in your videos all the time.
Yeah, she's
a girl's a star.
And, you know, I mean, I hate to be that fucking baseball dad. Esa mi niño.
No, esa tu hija.
No, but
Esa tu hija.
she without much coaching, she, you know, she likes it. She does it, you know.
That's awesome.
So I got into it. And I just liked it, dude. You know.
It's crazy because like having a kid is like such an amazing, crazy, scary blessing, but it's like, not to say it in a negative light, but it's like your life flashes.
That shit's like a fucking
it's like
train
you're getting
wreck,
a car accident.
Yeah, dude. It's the one. There's moments in life like when a parent dies or you have a child. What a comparison! But like when you have a, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like there's moments in life that make you reevaluate everything.
Yeah,
right.
And that was one of them for me. You know what I'm saying? I was 22. You know, I wasn't tampoco a teen mom. You know, but I was young, you know, 22, dude. You look back and you're like, God damn, you know, like I didn't know what I was doing with my life.
But yeah, like,
you know,
if you didn't make that decision then, though, it would have caught up with you.
I would have been like 30 years old working at the state attorney's office, just fucking hating life. Day. Yeah.
And then looking at your daughter like,
it's your fucking fault, dude.
but Mario, at 30, you still would have had a chance, dude.
No, I'm not saying. Yeah, no. I'm one of those people. Again, dude. I'm in fairy tale land. Like I remember being at in elementary, and we're learning all this bullshit, and then they brought out like Vincent Van Gogh's life, cutting his ear and doing all. I'm like, that. I never related. Like that's me, dude. I cut off my ear in this story, and I've lived my life like 9 to 5s and all that. That all for me is like a settling. And no disrespect, if you got to do it, you got to do it. I did it for fucking plenty of years, and I might have to do it again, but. For me, it's like, yo, that's for me, that's not fully living. Like, I gotta chase my dreams, you know, right. What as far fetched as it is, you know what I'm saying? That's life. For
it's crazy because a lot of people like they want to be rich, right? And I always think I'm like, dude, to me, in a way, I'm rich because I wake up every day, I do what I want to do, and that to me costs way more valuable than money, dude. No, I'm on the way. Look, I got a phone. Look at that.
That's how rich you are.
It's a rich
ring. But what I'm saying is like, I'm on the way to a meeting. Yo, I'm 10 minutes late. I have my own business. I do my own thing. Like, it's not like, oh my God, that anxiety waking up in the morning. Like, to me, that peace of mind is being rich.
Yeah, same thing with me. Yeah. I mean, like, I feel like that's one of the things that, as a DJ, like, I'm like, yo, like, I have picked to not wake up without no, like I wake up on my own. Yeah. And now I wake up like 8 in the morning. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying like I don't wake up to the sound of an alarm. Mm-hmm. To me, that's like one of the freak out. And you're late. One of the worst feelings. And what excuse am I gonna use this time? And I always think absolutely. That. Even like when I DJ the pools and shit and like the brunches and I'm like, damn, I want to sleep in. I like now I just still wake up even before the alarm that I set, because I never want. That's one of the things that I feel the same way about. Like waking up at a certain time is like it's like the man's giving it to you. You know?
Yeah, of course. And it happened to me. I told Frisco when we started brunch,
right?
And I was like, this is not after like 20 years of doing this.
Yeah,
I tried not to do Sunday brunch. Like we started working with Type 42, and we would do the happy hours, the brunch nights, and I'm like, I would tell my boy Alex, I'm Mike Deuce's brother. I would tell him, I'm like, yo, Alex, I'm not doing no Sunday, but it's the dopest thing, man. You're gonna love it. I'm like, dude, I love Sunday. I don't want to wake up early. Once we started doing it, bro, after a year of being into it, I would tell my brother sometimes, I'm like, I'm not down. I didn't get into this for that. But then I'll be like, I think about it, I'm like, nah, bro, don't be a pussy. Like, this is what you signed up for. You don't gotta wake up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Not only that, but like you also gotta understand, like,
make people have a good time.
It's also fun too.
It's not the work. It's not the work. You put in the work.
No, of course.
It's the thought of I'm working for something I don't feel a full purpose.
Yeah, no, of course.
You know what I'm
Funny
saying?
enough, though, I think everybody that does live without that anxiety of that alarm, like basically all of us in this room now, like we could all and Paulie, obviously, we all relate to the same thing. Like we all feel the same comfortability in that. So like other people don't understand what that feels like in a way, right? Which is basically what you're saying.
It's a big thing, man. And I feel you, but like I said,
it's like you want to wake up early because you feel like, oh, I get to wake up early on my own terms, and I'm excited.
Do what I was going to do today.
Yeah,
I'm gonna call Zaya today, and we're gonna talk cafecito and maybe some football, and then I'm gonna keep on going with my day. I'm going to a meeting, and
because there's a difference when like, oh, I gotta wake up because I gotta be somewhere because there's someone who's gonna tell me something to do, and then you're just like resentful because you're like, oh, this motherfucker is making me wake up.
And they're waiting for you to tell you like, why are you late? Like, oh man, I don't know what excuse somebody.
Oh, dude,
my dog ate my homework. Oh no, my bad.
My level of care was so low that I would wait for moments like that. Like, why are you late? I'm like, I want to be here, dude.
I used to love when I used to work at Best Buy. I would like dying for someone to tell me something because I wanted the confrontation.
You wanted the confrontation.
Like, you already needed a change up.
You're a manager, bro.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like, outside of this world, it's just me and you, bro. Like,
fight me in the parking lot, bro.
You don't have no power over it.
Yeah.
But going back to what you said, though, sometimes when you're working with something that you're enjoying so much, it can become an obligation.
Of course.
And you like subconsciously don't realize it.
That's not matter. You gotta know how blessed you are that you're doing this, and you're not. On a mission.
But you can. That's what I'm saying. Like you get in that hamster wheel, and then you can fall into yo, I gotta do this every fucking Sunday.
Well, that's why like in fact like this show I think was important because even within you doing what you love to do, like you said, you could have moments where you're just like, damn, this is starting to kind of feel like a job, And for me, it's like within this, if you don't involve. Within life in general, but within your career, if you don't involve and take chances like that, you know what I'm saying, then it might as well be a 9 to 5.
You get bored.
Yeah.
Zan and Kaz know, and you know too, Mario, that my brother and I try to jump into everything, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that. People even tell me like 20 years later, you started DJing or whatnot. And I'm like, well, I'm not really a DJ. I play music.
Yeah.
I'm a party rocker.
Yeah.
Like to have a good time. Yeah. But it's just like, that's the project that was in the moment now, And the project with Mario is the project that's in now. Like you guys, exactly. Like you guys with the podcast. And now you guys have multiple podcasts, and now you guys got the Twitch, and you doing the Pitbull thing, right?
Globalization.
And you're doing Part 96 also. So it's like different projects, because if not, it gets boring, dude.
Correct.
It does. It gets boring.
You get like, and it happens to everyone. You get like, okay, I gotta go 1000% to DJing, like I gotta get all the gigs and this and that, but like you could do whatever calls in the moment to switch up. And
especially if you're a creative person like we all are, to do anything creative, like my brother and I have designed bars for people. Like, okay, I want to do that, so I'm down. Now I'm not gonna be this or that. I'm gonna take this project of redesigning a bar.
And it's like we have that weird ADD in a good way.
Like,
so
what's next? I'm bored.
Yeah. So like after DJing for like 15 years, you're like, all right,
I want to do something. Like that beginning
and the
like,
club.
Like look, the other day, perfect example. The other day, Mario tells me, "Oh, I just want to go somewhere." You showed up somewhere to just perform because you just need that itch of wanting to do.
Yeah, like
especially in a time
to be different, right?
That like
because you get bored.
That energy that you like.
Well, you
get bored of what
you need to spark. Yeah, you need to
have
spark
your books. You have your bookings. It's great,
awesome.
But it's nothing like showing up like you did that day, or like you guys. You show up to other people's gigs, or you'll show up and do a gig that you're not supposed to do or whatnot. And that is what still drives us, I think, all to what we all do, because that spark, that want to keep doing other things.
Yeah.
Like we change it up. We try not to keep it in that one lane where it becomes a job.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right. So
well, I mean, you
switch up is like heavy
for me, and I'm sure it happens to you guys. Like, yeah, when you feel that kind of like it's not stuck, but you're just kind of like in that loop. Like you'll throw on the greats, or you'll throw on something. Like for me, it was like the Comedy Store. I was watching the history of the Comedy Store.
Showtime.
Was it Showtime? Yeah. Dude, so fucking
that's the
gangster.
Pauly Shore's
mom that started it. And dude, just watching it, like I was there like last summer. Was it last summer? And being there and then taking that shit in, right? I wasn't there for a long time, but I was just actually there. And then going back and now seeing this documentary about the evolution of it. Like, dude, I was like, I had told them, I'm like, I'm just gonna go drop in an open mic and just do 10 minutes, like just whatever, just do 10 minutes and just get in that feeling again, you know. And I hadn't done that in a while, you know what I'm saying? So even that's like, you know, just keeping it a little fresh, you know. Like,
is there a lot of opportunity like that in Miami with stand up? Because we always talk about it too, but like in comedy in Miami is very unique, just like DJing. And I feel like because I follow like all those comedians from New York and LA and all that, and like you see their scene and the history and like the culture, and you're like, wow, but like here it's not like that.
You know, it has its pioneers, is the people that are really trying to make it happen. And you know, one of the people, Manny Garavito, that puts on I don't know how many fucking shows. He's actually going to be at our show. He has a few open mics down here, and he tries to keep them in rotation year round. You know what I'm saying? He's big on that. There's certain scenes, you know, the improvs and stuff like that. But yeah, the way a comic could get up in New York where they do 3 or 4 shows a night is way different than someone in Miami. You know, the scene here's a little weird.
The culture is a little different. Where there's a lot of like these comedy clubs in New York and these places like they're walkable, man. You live in a city where it's wild. Like, oh, today we're gonna drop in there. Let's see who's performing.
I saw this. It was like a special / doc. I forgot the guy's name, but he did like 6 sets in one night in New York, and he documented it. And he was able to do like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, but he literally clocked 6 sets in one night from like 9 to 2 a.m. or something. It's the Asian guy. He had his own show at one point. I forgot his name. But
you know who did something sort of like that too was Ray Romano's stand up. You saw that shit? Yeah, he went. I thought that was so fucking like I love shit like that. That's why we did Curtis Mansion and stuff like that. Like I don't want to go the typical like circuit route with anything. Like I want to create experiences. I want to create. You know, Curtis Mansion is this supposedly this like haunted mansion in Miami Springs. I'm like, fuck it, let's go there and do a comedy show. You know what I'm saying? That creates a vibe, dude. People walk in there, like, what the fuck, a comedy? Music? Ghosts? What is this shit?
Yeah, what the hell's going on?
You know what I'm saying? I love that. So when people take chances like that, like, you know, I'm going to do a fucking set, a special where I just bounce around different clubs or whatever. Like, that for me is the art of our craft. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how it is in the DJ world. Like,
there's similar things. There's similar things.
When we spoke the other day, it's funny how much our industry and what we deal with, they're the same. Like, they're basically the DJ of.
Yeah, we always say it.
They're them. Like, the comedy club books a guy like him to be the main guy, like a Wharf would book you, or we're at Tavern, we're at this place. Just like that is what these guys do, and like what they do.
And the hustle, I think that the hustle, the networking game, and like the whole gatekeeping thing is kind of similar too. So there's a lot of different angles that, like, you know, like we have to hustle, we have to still be good, and you got to know how to work this room for this people, and if you travel, you got to know that this doesn't work there because of this and that, like. And
even like gimmicks, like people doing certain things and not DJing.
Fucking rat head on you. What? How do you guys feel about that? What do you feel? How do you guys feel about like those? If we could call them gimmicks, but if you could call that a gimmick, but like, things like that, like putting a marshmallow on your head.
We've been doing it long enough that like we know that. I mean, you have to have a product.
Yeah, it's a certain lane, like, and I feel like those things is like I can never hate on that just because. yo, that guy's making millions, and like whatever he's doing is.
I used to kind of hate on I didn't understand, more than hate, no, I didn't understand the LMFAO stuff. And I saw them when they first came out, and I saw them in Tallahassee in a block party. I was up there in FSU, and they're the headline is gonna be Irie and them, and I'm like, well, I'm just down to see Irie, but real. And they come out there, dude, and like I understood the whole party rocking. I'm like, it's cheesy, but it's the best cheesy. Like this,
in essence,
the energy, bro, went through the roof.
Are they DJs?
Huh?
Are they DJs?
They're DJ rappers.
And they're like uncle and nephew, right?
Yeah, but it's only one of them now, right?
We had their DJ Danger Zone on the podcast, and he explained to us the whole thing, and it's like, like everyone looked at them as cheesy, but they were like revolutionizing the experience at the time.
The best. And Kaz knows that I love wrestling, so to me, like any giving like that to me is like, bro, it's pretty cool, bro.
And their music still hits sometimes.
I mean, I played it this last weekend. It was I was DJing for what were hopefully 21-year-olds, 20-year-olds, and like,
damn, dude,
yo, they were like going ham and everything from the early 2000s, like 2010s, like, just because they were so young back then, you know. But so now that they're old and partying and drinking, and fucked up, yo, party rock was like,
isn't that fucking crazy? How I assume we're all more or less the same age. Where like the 2010s, like you just said that, like they were so young. Yeah. For me, that was like party era, dude.
I was already a fucking adult.
Yes, but what I'm saying, like LMFAO, like I still remember them popping out with their leopard fucking leggings and the party, and I'm like, who the fuck is this shit with an afro and the shade?
They look like the Rockers, right? From when it was
from back in the day.
No, what's his name? From the WWE, WWF. The Rockers was this dude.
Yeah, Martel or one of those guys.
Sweet Chin Music. The guy, what's his name?
Oh, Brett. I mean, no.
Marty.
HBK.
Marty Jannetty and the other guy. And the other guy ended up with Triple H. Yes, they were the Rock. That's how they dressed, bro. I'm like, I couldn't remember the names of that. And I was like, bro, so some gimmicks to me are like, well, that's pretty cool, bro.
Look, but this is the thing, just like everything else. Like, yo, like when you understand the business and you understand the industry and you know where you fit, you can't hate on anything else because you know what you want.
Right.
You know where you want to go and you understand where, you know, like for us, like there's technical guys that would be like, damn, like I can do this shit so much better, but you don't understand that DJ is there not because he's good, it's because he has good relationships with everybody and he brings some other kind of value, you know, and he knows what's going on. So I can't hate, like, you know, I'm at a point where I'm just like, yo, do whatever makes you happy and as long as you're not getting in the way or diluting the water that I'm in, then do whatever the fuck you want.
I feel the same way. Like people, since I dove into the social media game and stuff like that, like a lot of comics I hear like hating on people that book shows that have a fucking name that could fill seats, but they're not stand-up comics per se. You know what I'm saying? They're a draw because they fucking fart on social media.
But talk about this. To me, stand up. I've told you this. I told you because I'm not only he's my boy and we're working with him now, but I've told him like, yo, like what I like from stand up, like you have a gift, dude, and because stand up is way different than sketches, which you're awesome at too. But what I'm saying is that's a different monster than getting on Instagram and doing some funny shit. Absolutely. Like my brother and I used to be on TV and people used to tell us, you guys are hilarious. I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to be funny. That's how it comes out and you're laughing. That's dope. That's how it looks to you. But I'm not a comedian.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do stand up like that.
My
stand up is an art, dude.
My thing is at the end of the day, like that shit weeds itself out. Like you'll see.
Exactly. That's the thing when it goes back to gimmicks. It's like maybe it's working and that's great that they're able to capitalize on that, but eventually
you'll see.
Yeah, and it's a trend, or like, and they know like if you're headed in the right direction and like you're following the right rules, you know, and adapting and growing, like you'll be fine.
I also feel like these guys, some of them, you know, content wise, like what they're putting, like, you know, maybe that won't hit around the country. with some of these guys. You know what I mean? Because their gimmick is for what we are.
And that's what I wanted to ask you, because
that could happen,
especially in Miami. And going back, like to what you said, you're funny, but you're not a comedian. But you have that self.
Oh no, I didn't say that. People would say
no, I'm saying, but you were like, you recognize but I can't get on stage.
Right?
It's different. Like,
it's just my personality.
You have that. You have that self awareness, but
course.
some people
and
don't.
also we're playing music. I've told you that.
Right. You're not a DJ.
Yeah, no, but
say it once a week.
No, and Chris Valencia gets mad at me for saying that too. But for real, like, I'm not standing here be like, bro, I'll kill that guy. No. That guy is a DJ. I'm doing rock. If I'm like the day that Espinosa,
these guys are technicals, man. Like, you guys are
Kaz took Espinosa over there and Espinosa went to me like, yo, that's awesome what you're doing. And it's like, but that guy's that guy's a real DJ. That guy's a turntable.
World 3-star champion told you that you're a party rock.
Exactly.
Flex, bro, flex.
Yo, flex.
Oh, it's a flex.
And when the interns come in, tell them that.
Yeah. But no, for real, and my brother and I would never disrespect, dude.
Never
to like, oh yeah, we're DJ.
But
never.
But that's the thing.
We know the level.
And that's the thing. And Spinoza knows that too. Like, Espinoza knows that you guys are not like trying to like.
Of course not.
Job. But he loves the fact. It's like, I feel the same way, bro. When I love how you guys do.
Oh no, and I love that you guys.
It's amazing.
Like, I love when you guys come there.
You guys love it.
That shit's amazing for me.
That's what I'm saying. But you have literally the best DJ in the world in our format telling you that, like.
That was amazing. And it's crazy because, like I said, like, yo, the technical. Like, there's a lot of, like, I've seen Espinoza after we met him that time and all that. And I've looked into like what he does. Like, yo, the pandemic.
Oh my god.
I put you guys in the same doctorate, right? And it's like, there's different.
We got like
different. Everybody has their lane, bro. And as long as you don't, the lanes are.
Back to the gimmicks. If you are a gimmick, you know what I'm saying, like the gimmicks, the rapper gimmicks or whatnot. That's when I start hating. Like, when the gimmick thinks then they're better than the actual thing. Like 6ix9ine. I love 6ix9ine. Everybody hates 6ix9ine. I love 6ix9ine for what it is.
It is, yeah.
Now everybody hates when he's like, I'm the best rapper. He's telling you that because he's not, dude.
Yeah.
And that to me is awesome.
It's a gimmick.
Once the guy that's not that good as you as a rapper tells you I'm the better rapper, like, stop.
My feeling about that is like, going back to even the gimmick shit that we were talking about. It's like, at the end of the day, if you have a fan base, you can't hate on that.
Exactly.
Yeah. As a quote unquote artist, and that's like gross to even say, but as an artist, there's a part of you that, like, you sit there and you watch documentaries of like the beginning of DJing and where it started. Yeah, there's a part of you that's like, you follow that artistry. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you're a part of that. Right. But then there's another part of you that's like, yeah, that's cute, but can you sell tickets? Do people give a fuck about you if you go out there? Like, there's that balance that, especially nowadays with social media and all that shit, you have to accept. You have to you can't hate on that. You have people try to get me all the time in interviews and podcasts and shit, like, what do you feel about this guy or this girl? Or, I'm like, do they have an odd? I can't hate if there's people that are coming to see them. That's that they've made their own lane, dude. Mm-hmm. And like that quote says or whatever, there's no traffic there, dude. You got your own shit. Can't hate on that.
And it's way more dope to follow your dreams now. To me, I find it like kind of easier. My brother,
you're able to get out there so much easier.
When we were doing the TV stuff, there was no Instagram. We would actually go record, go try to interview Puff Daddy, take the tape, go edit it to put it on TV to say, we interviewed Diddy for this show. Now it's like you could immediately. So the
I don't think it's easy. Famous, yeah, I think it's relative.
Really?
Yeah, because what you consider easy, it's static at the same time. There's a lot of fucking...
the work is not easy. The getting seen.
I disagree.
No, I think it's the opposite.
Yeah, I mean,
work is easier.
I understand what you're saying.
Seen is harder.
Really?
So many people.
There's a lot of static.
You have the tools now at your disposal, like you said, so you could create something out of nothing.
How many people are trying to fucking DJ right now? How many people are trying to post videos? Just scroll through how many people are fucking TikTok trying to be dancers?
But that's your outlet.
I 100% understand what you're saying. I just think it's relative, dude. I do. I think like there was the same opportunities of people to do what you did then that wouldn't have done it with social media around. Like,
I think so.
I think it's way more. Look, it's way easier to do, but there's so much more people doing the same thing.
Yeah.
That you really have to have talent to rise above.
Right. Or the right person that
pushes you on
videos.
Yeah.
So when you do all, because you have like a shitload of videos on YouTube and Instagram that are like hilarious, but do you get kind of stereotyped into like, oh, he's just that social media guy? He's not really a comedian.
I think to the people that truly follow me, I don't. The reason why I feel in my heart that I didn't grow to the millions in Miami as fast as I think I could have was because the moment that people put their finger on me and they're like, oh, this guy's the Cuban doctor. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen that when I did a Cuban doctor one that kind of like popped off. That's the one that kind of like, you know, made me quote unquote popular. The moment I started getting introduced as the Cuban doctor and my act on stage was like this, like I haven't fucking said like voila here or anything. That's not really how I act. That was just kind of like, you know, portraying shit that I've seen or, you know, or heard or whatever. Right. But the moment people put their finger on me saying like I was like, damn, dude, I gotta switch it up. And so by that, what I mean by that is like people that truly follow me have seen me do music, they've seen me do stand up, they've seen me do podcasts, they've seen me bounce around outside of the quote unquote Miami.
So when you're on stage, you're not doing all these, because that's what I wanted to ask. Because a lot of people,
now they gotta go to the show.
Because what I've seen is especially a lot of like the local dudes I've seen, like they're always hitting home runs because all they're doing is like Miami traffic. And
that goes back to I think what you were saying about if it dilutes the substance. Right, you know what I'm saying? I'm assuming have had an assumption of like, oh, do you do what every fucking other influencer does up on stage? And that for me is like, no, like I even hate to be in that category because I didn't start like that. I started doing stand-up. I started with music even, you know, and then I started with stand-up, very Cuban American, but like personal Cuban Americans. I wasn't trying to do a bunch of Cuban jokes or a bunch of super local Miami shit, you know, but again, having been put into that thing, yeah, people do assume. Like, I'll have people that don't really fuck with me go like, oh, well, my boyfriend doesn't speak Spanish. Can I still go to? I'm like, oh, you fucking doing this in Telemundo? Like, what? Yeah,
it's funny, Zaya, because I think that's the difference between a lot of people. Like, what he just said is crazy because he said the Cuban doctor, and a lot of people would have ran with that. Like, yeah, I am the Cuban doctor.
The thing is, I'm not assuming that
everybody runs with it.
Because why?
And that's it. And that's the only
right. Why I brought it up because I know you don't do that, and I wanted them to also know that. But because I've seen dudes that were popular on social media, and I've gone to shows out of curiosity because I'm just interested.
Names?
No.
Name them. No.
I went to high school with some of them.
Yeah. Okay. I understand what you're saying.
And it was terrible, bro. It was not funny, and they were trying to do Instagram on the stage.
Trying to do 15 minutes, 15 seconds.
Back to what I was saying, that there's comedians and there's stand-up. Well, like, that's a whole different monster, dude. What he was
saying about the other stuff is, you said 15 minutes. Dude, I didn't even know. This has nothing to do, but I didn't know comedy. When we sat down to do this and like break this show down and how we were going to work this, and he's like, yeah, you know, the guy's going to come before. He's my opener. I want him to do at least, what is it, 5 minutes? 4 minutes?
Yeah, 4 minutes, something like that.
4 minutes. The guy's going to go up there and he's going to just leave, right? He's like, dude, 4 minutes a lot. Trust me. I'm like, he's like, what, you think I should give him less? I'm like, less?
But see, that's
4 minutes?
But then I understood. I'm like, dude, it's like boxing. It's like, you don't got time.
It is.
15 minutes of you doing that up there, you're going to vomit.
Well, traditionally, the opener is, not traditionally, but maybe the less experienced one or the one that's kind of making his way up. You know what I'm saying? So 5 minutes, if you suck, is like a long fucking time, dude. But yeah, I mean, there's different like you guys have openers, features. I guess
that's the only thing I would say is
headliners.
Crazy difference between DJs and comedians is that we could always, if you suck, you could always play a song for 4 minutes and like ride it out and like rely on the song. Yeah. Just it's a good song.
Yeah, you guys don't have you
don't have a
song. That's why we to self. Well, I do. That's how I fucking stretch my time out. I'm about to rap for you, motherfuckers. Real quick.
What told us was that there's comedians out there that actually book a bad opener just so they could look good, right?
I've heard certain comics. I mean, think about it. I mean, if you have the chance to book a fucking badass
About the book.
ahead of you.
I got some openers in mine.
You know what I'm saying? That you could book ahead of you.
Wait, hold on. You want to do that for DJ game? Oh my god.
DJ, but that doesn't work for DJing.
It doesn't.
Because
It
it'll
can
fuck
make
up
you-
the night.
yes,
But also
yeah.
the same way for comedians, it could mess up the night because then they lowered. They're terrible. They lower.
You're saying if you book like a fucking badass
No,
DJ
they-
before you.
no, that's good because then it raises your
For you guys.
right? No. I'm saying for
bad.
DJing,
Mhm.
it's bad to have a bad opener because it could ruin the night.
People will leave.
Well, no, I'm not saying a bad. You don't want. It's the same exact thing, dude. You don't want someone to kill the fucking, bring the show
Yeah.
down, and then you get up like ready for these dick jokes when the room is cold.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You still want someone to fucking bring it, but yeah, I've heard there's certain comics that are like, yeah, I'm not gonna fucking. For example, like you're not gonna follow. You don't want to follow a guy that's singing and doing these impressions and doing all that shit when it changed the mood of the. Now you come out there with solid fucking.
Right.
I mean, maybe you could, maybe you're a monster. You know what I'm saying? But you know, as a headliner, you're like, damn, I kind of maybe don't
Yeah,
want to.
like you can't have a house. You can't have a house opener open for like a rap.
Yeah,
Right,
you just
right.
know. You just know. There's
Right.
certain. You know, it's
No,
the
and-
dynamic.
And like the show that we're doing together, right?
Brian's done.
It goes with music. So imagine somebody, even let's say Mario goes out there and bombs every joke. The energy in the room.
Right.
Good luck for some guy after that. Like, okay, well now that the DJs and the Silver Fox, his brother, the Silver Fox, is the guy that does the
Silver
podcast.
Fox.
Shots, Silver Fox.
Fox.
It's like you have all these guys on stage or whatnot, and now there's some guy after that, like, oh, I'm gonna tell some jokes.
Yeah, you
like,
don't want to. Yeah, you don't
you
want to
can't
get
do
somebody
all
that's
that.
gonna fucking
It's
flatline the
very
room.
hard.
But
It's a
Right.
different story.
Have you ever met a comedian that you looked up to and then kind of saw them do some shit like that, and you're like, damn, I thought you were like,
it
one.
feels so good.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
because then you feel
Because it's raw, dude. I've been at open mics where like certain comics you see on Comedy Central just pop in, and you see them struggle because the room is weird.
Yeah.
It's a fucking Tuesday
It's
night.
a set for them.
And it's just,
Right.
yeah, like nobody, maybe half the room knows who they are. The other half is like, but for me, I'm like, yo, you know who the fuck that is?
Right.
And they're up there just kind of like, eh.
Wow.
And for me, I'm like, yo, that is the most rawest form of what I do. That's so gangster, dude.
Is that them like trying out new material?
100%.
Yes. Yeah.
They're just, once
For them,
you,
it's nothing, but like
for them, it's another Tuesday night, dude.
for openers, people watching, it's like, damn, they're regular ass people like me.
Right.
They bomb like
But Frisco, it's good that you said that. You're like, oh, they're there for them. That's one of the things that we haven't touched on where it comes to this and bombing or whatnot. I told this Mario from the beginning. I'm like, Mario, I know a little bit of the comedy world and whatnot, but I feel that it's when it's Mario Ramil, everybody's coming to see you, and to me, I feel like that about all comedies. Like every time I've gone to a comedy show, and it could be some guy that came from LA or whatever. I go there and I'm like, oh my god, I'm like, please, like make me laugh. Like you going with that energy already. You're not going in there like, oh bro, this guy sucks. So it's like almost like a DJ. Zaya's gonna DJ where? Oh bro, it's dope.
Going.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like they took Zaya and put him somewhere in the middle of
Yeah.
West Palm Beach. They've never seen you, and it's Zaya. And people are like, oh yeah, that's
Yeah, but
cool.
there's still-
but they're waiting for you.
There's still that, but with anything, comedy, music, and I know you guys, could attest to this, that there's always that, yeah, I come out and it's dope because maybe people see me online or whatever, or they've heard of me.
Oh,
And
but they came for
it's
you.
cool to 100%.
Yeah.
but there's
But
other
there's
people.
still a moment that, like, after like the 2-minute mark of like, oh shit, that's that dude.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, be funny, dude.
Yeah, the shock,
Yeah,
the shock is
yeah,
over.
yeah.
Spin some dope shit. Like,
yeah,
all right, that's cool, that's him. But
I mean, even I'm sure like my friends back in the day would come and be like, all right, bro, like do something.
yeah, 100%.
Show me what I'm here for.
Dude, I'm sure it's with you guys as well. Like, your friends keep coming out to the same shit,
Yeah.
and it's like,
What'd you think?
what else you got? Like, what else you got?
And when you were telling me that you run into people, and I'll tell you, I'm like, no, when we were on La Cosa Nostra, it was the same
he
thing.
did
People would run up to me, and, yo, what's up?
yeah, do something.
Do something. Like, what
Uh-huh.
you do? What? Like, what do you mean?
Like they want this guy to do like
You-
bust
right?
out
Yeah,
TikTok.
So why you
right
gonna do
there.
things?
Sometimes it's weird. Yeah, sometimes it's
Oh,
weird.
wait, it's you. Do
Because
it.
yeah,
Do
it's not
something.
complaining about it. You know, it's
No,
just that
absolutely
sometimes
not.
people, they get excited because whatever they might share
it's funny.
some shit I did with their family, whatever, and it just so happens, boom, they bump into me. And it's like, dude, be that character. I'm like, let me fucking eat Chipotle. You know, like I don't feel like getting into character right now.
You've done like, and especially coming up, you've done those rooms where they weren't there for you. They're like open mics where you were just out there, and they were like, okay, this guy's next.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
Dude. I mean, to this day, and I hate to talk about it like I've made it.
No,
because I don't feel like to this day. I mean, I walk out there and be like, oh, so nobody's a fuck.
Right.
Yeah, I still.
Like I'm saying in Miami, you have a show, and the majority of the tickets are because they want to see you. But that's what I'm saying, that you also don't just do like Mario and Ramil.
No. Look, like he said, he jumped into something the other day, and you walked into the improv tool a couple weeks ago, right? Like on a weekday.
Yeah.
Like you just jumped.
I mean, but like a show like this on the 25th, like 99.9% of the people are there to see me. Mm-hmm. So it's even if I. For like a headline, and it happens, I'm sure, even at concerts. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe the headliner's not as dope as even the feature was, but it's still cool to see. Like, fuck, I got to see the headliner.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I got to see, I don't know, Deftones or whatever. I got to see Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, you worked hard to create that audience, so it's like you earned that like 99% to come see you, and a lot of people can't even say that like 80% or 50%.
Yeah, it's hard, dude. Like, and that goes back to what you were saying, that. You know, people post, people do, their own marketing shit and all this, but to get the fucking audience, dude, like to get people that I've never had a conversation with, go out and buy a shirt that says my fucking last name on their chest. That's dope. You can't buy that shit. That's gangster. That's priceless, dude. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, dude. I mean, I still get, because at the end of the day, I do treat this shit as a branding thing. I still have that old school mentality about it, and so. To see people wearing my Ramil shirt, carrying the brand on their chest like that, I'm still taken back by that. I still, even people come out like, "Oh, you the guy?" Yeah, dude. Like, that's price. I've worked my ass off for that. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like that's.
It's dope.
And I think you had to have that with anything, DJing, comedy. Like you have to have that kind of all around balance of like, all right, I'm gonna approach this business with marketing, but I'm also gonna like make sure I respect the comedians and the come up and the grind. I'm gonna do it right, but I'm gonna also like implement my own shit, my merch and that. Because then if you just stay on like, nah, like I gotta just do open mics and no YouTube or Instagram, you're gonna.
That's the thing though. A lot of people, sometimes they'll talk to me about shit like that. I'm like, you gotta try to cover all bases, dude. Like you could be a dope DJ. If you don't market yourself, if you don't have that image,
everyone's always like another DJ podcast. And I was like, jump on, bro.
Absolutely. Until you become the DJ podcast, and then they're like, oh shit, how do you guys start? Like, fuck you, bitch! Like you're trying to fucking shit on me a year ago. Like fuck out of here. Yeah.
How that happened, bro?
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like Kevin Hart has this thing where I think Oprah was interviewing him. And he's like, oh, what do you say to people that say you're like an overnight success? He's like, to a degree, I am an overnight success. 20 years in the making. You hear some shit like that, you're like, yeah, dude, that's how it is.
Oh yeah, if you keep pushing.
Yeah, man, you're knocking on the right doors.
Like our friend Pitbull says, it's a slow but for show grind.
Yeah. Well, he says he's one that says it's not about making it; it's about maintaining it.
Of course,
that's 100% true.
It's not about the fall; it's about the return.
100%.
You got any other one?
Any
other pit lines?
You guys are very inspirational today.
Evolve or dissolve.
Damn.
Ideal told me that one day. I mean, I don't think he invented
shout out
that,
the bottom.
He told me that one day.
You got any Jose Marti quotes?
When he started doing house music, he told me that. He's like, yo, evolve or dissolve. I'm like that, bro.
It's true, bro.
I know, and I feel it completely, bro. I'm happy and lucky to do what I'm doing still to this day, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially in 2020.
2020, 20 years of me doing this, and I'm like, a lot of people be like, yo, what do you mean you still do? I'm happy to be here because of people like you guys, the young generation, and Mario too. Mario's younger than us too. Like, do you guys fuck with us? You know what I'm saying?
There's always a sense of projection when people come up to you like, oh, y'all still doing that?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you still work at Foot Locker?
I love it though. I love it.
What are you doing? Yeah.
Still selling shoes? Nothing against that, but it's like,
I love it.
Yeah, I'm still doing this.
But then it's like, I'm not explaining what that is. Like, I'm still doing that. Like, you don't have time to explain to you what that is. I'm doing this,
and what people don't realize is that, and it's like the more you're doing your own thing, you realize that, it's so much easier to do that with not, and no disrespect, but like 9 to 5 and just like, okay, follow the common trajectory of like, I worked this job for 5 years, then I get the next thing, then I get the next thing, then I get the next thing. And you have like the path, go to school, then like they look at sometimes what we do or like podcasting and DJing and comedy, they're like, oh, if you just fucking off all day.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
I have no clue. I don't know. I'm not sure what next week is looking like.
It's unorthodox until they start reading about you in like history books and shit like that. Like that's how it always is. They shit on you. They don't get it. They don't understand. They talk a little bit of shit, and then eventually they're like, "Well, how'd you do it?"
And then you become Kevin Hart, and he's like, he works so hard. He's
And then they talk about you. It's like, again, he was always grinding.
It's also a creative ADD, bro. Like you just gotta jump from one project to the other and just keep
That's
it going.
another thing. A lot of people aren't. They'll get into it and then are built for it. You know, like
Or
That happens all the time.
Mario's-
That happens all the time.
Mario's like you know, you guys grind, bro. We all grind. Everybody in this room cut from like that cloth of grind. Mario's a comedian that's cut from that, which like, you know, I don't know many comedians. Mario's the best one that I know.
Yo, what a plug. Dude. Yo.
Damn, Frisco will never DJ for no comedian again.
No, but it's the truth. Like Mario has that grind. Like for him to call us in the middle of the night and be like, "Yo, I'm gonna step into an open mic. If you guys are around, come through real quick." I'm like, "What? What do you mean? Where are you? I'm in Brickell." Like,
I just think that shows, and I think we could all vouch for it, that you have to like what you do first. You have to love that shit. You have to be like Steve Jobs says, you have to be fucking crazy in love with what you do, because you're gonna fail at it. Like it's gonna suck for a long time, but since you love it, you keep doing it. You keep trying. Not, there's no other option there. I've bombed plenty of times. I've shaken hands at meetings where I'm like, this is the life changer, and then you never hear back from them again. I'm sure we've all been there. But if you truly love the thing that you're doing, and admire it and appreciate it, you can't help but to keep fucking doing it.
You just got the inspirational quotes all day today.
You think I'm out here fucking around?
I'm feeling pumped, bro.
I googled a bunch of them before this podcast.
Like I told you in the last podcast.
Say this one.
Kaz, I told you guys in the last podcast. If you're already doing it, you already made it.
Yeah.
That's
when am I gonna make it? You already made it,
You already made it. How long you been doing this?
Both cameras are recording, right? So
you already made it. Like you're doing this. Your podcast is 95 episodes in. Like you're doing it. Like
you're doing it.
You made it.
Even this, people are like, yo, how do I start a podcast and this and that? You're like,
by the mic.
What do you mean? How do you fucking start a podcast?
Yeah, but how do I start about this?
But I gotta get the this and the that. It was like my friends in high school. I remember like, yo, I need that TPX glove because my game's gonna get better. I'm like, dude, you suck. It doesn't matter if you have a Cal Ripken's glove on your fucking hand. You just suck.
Cousin, right?
Just go play. Yeah, Javi.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, just do it. Just do it, and eventually you look back and you'll be 100 episodes.
I always thought, I'm like, people are like sending me links and like, yo, but what about this? I'm like, bro, like, yo, get your phone and record like 3 podcasts with your boys or your whatever, and then I'll send you shit eventually. But like, that's just you're doing gymnastics to not do it, like mental gymnastics.
Right,
of like,
right. You yourself, you're putting it off. You're putting it
I
off.
also feel that people think that people are just like they are looking for random podcasts, but like if you don't have any sort of people following what it is, I mean, it has to be something the content has to be amazing for somebody to actually go and find that podcast.
Oh, without them knowing about it.
Without them knowing about it, right? It has to be like dead on amazing.
But see that mentality, it stumps people.
Right.
Like even with stand up and shit, people are, oh, how do you just get out there? You'll eventually find your voice. It's not gonna be gangster as fuck in the beginning.
Oh, no,
it's not gonna be a dope. You're not gonna have and I think we've all been there where you're like, all right, if I do this, it has to be exactly like this or it's not going to work. Mm-hmm. And that's not true. Even though you might plan the best thing, a lot of directors, they think this is the movie and then it bombs and it goes straight to fucking Blockbuster. That's not even a thing anymore. And it goes, but then the one that they're like, yeah, we'll try this, whatever, is the one that becomes a cult classic. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just do it. Just get out there, do it, find your voice, find the, you'll eventually have an angle in your podcast, in your stand-up, in your set, your music set, just gotta fucking go do it.
You know what's crazy? That like when people see the title of this podcast, they're gonna be like, "Oh man, Mario Mills on! It's gonna be hilarious!" And they're gonna be like, "Wait a minute,
quotes and shit.
like a business podcast."
Like, damn, that dude's not on
your dream.
Yo, he's not on a unicycle. What the fuck is that?
That's perfect. You see, they get to know the real, not the YouTube dude that everyone might assume.
Well, see, me personally, I think that's cheesy when you're always on.
Yeah, exactly.
When you're always on,
weird.
It's weird, dog. Like when people are here, like, oh, dog, and they're hyper, and they're trying to, everything is a punchline and a joke, and what, for me, that just feels like a lot.
No, it's a lot of forcing.
It's a lot. Like you don't have to be a comic. I mean, everyone's different. To be a comedian, you don't have to every fucking right. Thanksgiving. Just pass the turkey, dude. I don't need a joke at the dinner table. You know what I'm saying?
Or like your family's always waiting for you to do a punchline.
A punchline, and you talk to certain people, and you're like, yo, as you're talking and you're in the conversation, you're like, is this gonna be a bit? Like, are you working on a bit right now?
Yeah. Like, are you grinding me in?
Are you just like, using?
You get that thing where like you're like, oh, when I go to a family party, they're like, oh, he's the DJ, put the music.
Put your music.
Like, yo, do you always feel? Do you guys always feel like there's a little bit of like you're not? There's a little like shitting on you when they do that.
Of course,
like a little like 100%.
It's like a condescending. Like,
do you guys?
It's like oh yeah, you say that you have a real job, so show you're a real
job.
Like, by turning it up on the
table, like look who it
is. My girlfriend's grandmother, 80-year-old white lady, she still doesn't know what the fuck I do. Like she's still out. Like so. You're still working? You're still doing that thing? And I'm like, yeah. And I have to explain to her, like, yeah, no, I make like it's a service, dude. Like it's no different than driving a taxi. Like I just don't have to punch in and out. But it's they just don't get it, you know?
It's might be it's of like I don't know how to word it, but it's like the most like honest service or job you can provide. You're providing someone with like laughs and joy, like
entertainment.
It's like,
I mean, how the fuck do you look at LeBron dunking or any fucking little shorts, high five and everybody fuck yeah, but then you're a DJ and it's like, oh well, but LeBron dunks, this guy, so it's not it's not the same. No, bitch, it's entertainment. It's the same form,
different art.
Floor seats are $2,000.
And it's like crazy because you go to a party for free and you might have the best night of your life, but like, oh, LeBron dunked and won the game and you're watching it from your TV, but it's like, nah, you had like an experience. Maybe you met your wife or your husband or whatever. That night you had a baby because the party was too lit or whatever. But it's like
party.
Yeah. Sometimes I think about that. I'm like, yo, I wonder how many like babies were consummated.
I was asking that the other day.
No, not that I have a couple. That I know of a couple that have happened.
I was asking that at brunch the other day. I was like, how many times have we been the reason why people either get together or marry or fuck that night
or like ruin their life?
You guys have played the soundtrack.
Something.
A lot of the
my brother and I we know like 4 or 5 that have met at clubs and got married, and we know at least 3 kids that happened because of a club or a
You're welcome.
I would say more.
Well, you guys play the soundtrack to how many fights have you guys fucking probably played the soundtracks
Arrest.
to?
No.
Arrest?
Never a newsstand. 0 fights.
No, I don't know fighting, man.
How many fucking make-out finger blasting going on?
Yeah, that probably happened a bunch.
You guys are the directors of that, bro.
Directing of the finger blasting.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't like that. Hey, Isaiah, are we getting into the 4-hour mark? Because I'd like to get invited back.
Yeah.
Because I know that you guys had us on probation.
For part 2.
I think this is
you said they were on episode 17. They're like on 200 now.
Hey, you see that? You see that? Like, hey, Isaiah, he's like, oh, you guys want to do a podcast?
No, we were waiting on the chairs. We were waiting on the chairs.
Yeah. He's like, you guys want to do it one of these days? I'm like, well, actually, we're doing this comedy thing with Mario. Oh, you could bring Mario? Yeah. All right, then you could. They're like, wow, they're going to go kidnap this guy.
That's not how I said it. You mentioned that you guys were going to be recording. I'm like, oh, if you want to bring them, like, you're already going to be doing it. I thought I was going to be you guys.
Never going to get back in here again.
Yeah,
I tried. Hey, so the podcast.
I want the YouTube guy. I need the YouTube guy.
So the podcast.
Keep it doctor guy.
So the podcast people would they should know. I tried. Okay, and you know that you could tell them I tried so many times to come here when the Heat were in the bubble on the way to the championship because I wanted to debate with Paulie. So I really tried, bro.
Listen, we saved it for a perfect time where you guys can promote to the millions and millions of people that listen.
Yeah, basketball's over. We're about to start again. Now it's about 2.
Yeah, but look, those last 6 tickets that were still on the improv.com/
they're just sold
out. We just sold them.
Thank you very much.
Hold up, just in case. Hold up, Mario, you should do this too in case they don't invite us back again.
Okay,
you should plug everything.
Everything
So we're at the 2 hats on Instagram.
There you go.
We're normally at Blackbird on Thursdays when it opens up. It's called Medianoche with Zaya. Kaz will be there one day. Paulie pop up with Billy. He brings the sandwiches. We do live sandwiches. I'm doing the whole thing. In case we don't invite us back again.
At least hold on. Before you cut everything off, at least maybe there's a question of like, so what is it that's going down?
Oh, look at that. Before
what is it that's happening at the improv, you know?
Oh, yeah, what's happening at the improv?
Go, ask Mario. Plug everything you got to plug. Dude, I'm good.
Bro, has anyone told you guys you're funny?
No.
They're actually going to do 5 minutes at the improv, bro.
No, 5 minutes too much.
Oh, wait, are you guys are playing the music, but are you like...
Yeah, we jump in the show and we see.
Wait, explain Mario. How does the show go? Don't say everything.
And no, I mean, it's a banter between the music and the comedy. So, yeah, I mean, this is they're natural. They call me at 2 a.m. I take a fucking Xanax pill after the conversation because it's bah, 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 no, bah, bah, bah.
After you gotta brace yourself for that.
Now
call.
imagine on stage.
The call coming in, I
here we
inhaled.
Go. You warm up.
You gotta remember the first the TV show that we were on. We were on there for 4 or 5 years. It was no lines. There was no.
Just go.
So like the first 6 months we learned how to like improvise. So I'm like,
you're good at
throw
it.
anything at me, bro. I'm gonna hit it. You just put it down the plate and I can hit it right back to you, bro.
You're good at it, is what we're saying, and so because of that reason, they basically host the night. So you get them throughout the night, and then the comedy sprinkled in between segments. We'll leave it like that.
And pachanga,
yeah.
Because we wanted to also bring the pachanga element to a comedy show. Like it doesn't have to.
He was
sit down wait for the guy to talk.
You know, he came together to build something that's. I mean, he could tell you.
It's a vibe.
Tell him about.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe.
Tell him about. We're going on tour.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, we're trying now.
I'm so excited.
That's for episode 350.
No. Never get back to
No. Yeah, dude. We're trying to build this thing up to bring it around, the U.S., dude. Mm-hmm. If they'll have us, we'll go out there, and just the whole vibe. I want it just to be a mood changer, dude. Go out there, get the music, get the comedy, get the jokes. Leave there just in a way fucking better mood than you got there. Mm-hmm. With the music in your face,
I think
the jokes,
best, like
the
the
improv.
Experience. You're trying to give people
an experience.
It's not just
the whole show. That's
correct.
That's awesome. That
it's a show, dude.
It's an experience in a time where going out is a mission, bro. Yeah. So like, there's dinner. You listen to music. You
dance a little bit if you want.
Yeah. You listen to comedy and you go home, dude. Like that. There's not much happening right now with Corona, dude.
Yeah, so but something like that is, I mean, you sell it as a package, so it's
right.
So
well, that's what I wanted. I just wanted a packaged
fun.
It's just a fucking event, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You go there, you experience it, and hopefully you come back.
I know, and it's fun. I mean, I think Mario had a great thing to do this because a lot of people will concentrate on just trying to go and do a lot of these open mic and do his own bookings, which is this is booking. But I think him going outside of just the element of what is comedy and trying to build something different is amazing. It's not just wanting to do what he does. It's let's incorporate a bunch of other elements. Like there's a lot of other things that are in that show that we obviously we won't get into because we want you to go.
And he raps.
But he's he raps.
He has a character that raps.
That's why I appreciate what you guys do, man. I saw the Ableton Open. Like I love to just be surrounded by creativeness, you know what I'm saying? And what they do is the epitome of that, you know what I'm saying? They say they don't DJ, it's they're just creatives.
No,
and I love that shit.
DJ, we are not DJ.
No.
That's what I'm saying, but that in its own, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you, bro.
I don't consider myself just a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
So I think we fit within that bubble, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it works.
That. More than ever, I think just not doing one thing is important. Like just trying to get out of your comfort zone. Even if you're already
that's the fun part,
doing something creative like DJing or comedy, like just expanding more.
I feel like we're back in those 1920 days where you gotta tap dance and fucking sing.
Yeah.
Do a lot of shit.
As long as it's fun, dude. Fun and they're paying you, bro. Come on, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on.
I like that.
Come on.
Yeah, man.
Well, I think we could end it here on that positive note.
Yeah,
for
man.
chapter 1.
Chapter 1.
Thank you, Zell. Thank you,
guys.
guys.
Right.
Thank you,
Thank
Paulie.
you, guys.
I don't know. Does everybody know that Paulie's here at all times?
Bro.
Paulie.
This show would have happened if it wasn't for Paulie,
yeah,
bro.
man.
Come on.
If you want to pitch I mean, you already pitched your show, but your socials, where can people find you?
No, I already did that, just in case you guys don't invite me.
Where do you get?
So let them cut it off. You see?
Where do you get the tickets though? For real?
Yeah, no, like
Mario.
Miami at the actual Miami Improv website. So MiamiImprov.com. November 25th, 7:30 p.m. is the show. So
Thanksgiving
one night.
Eve.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
it's
Eve.
the
Hope to see you guys
Wednesday.
there.
It's the Wednesday before.
Can we get the meet and greet?
Oh, well, that's the dope. That's
Right here,
the dope
baby.
part. Back to the date. That's crazy.
That was
You bring
another
that
thing
up.
why we were so like.
When he
adamant
called
about
me
doing
and
it.
he's like, "Yo, well, we did the other show, the Curtis Mansion." He's like, "Well, we're gonna do a couple things," and then he's like, "Improv wants to do something," and I'm like, "Okay,
That's
cool."
huge.
He's like,
It's awesome.
this day," and I start looking at them like, "Dude, they're gonna give you Wednesday." Like, he's like, "Yeah, no, actually now they called back and they're saying like that's the day." I'm like, "That's the day, like that. They're gonna give you that
It's our
day."
day.
That's,
Like, I've
look,
done
that's
parties my
bro,
whole
that's
life
my
that
favorite.
day.
You know that we opened Newstown on that
Yo,
day.
we
your
did.
holiday.
Like, I love that day.
Remember when we did
Wednesday before
Rec Room?
Thanksgiving, we did Rec
Rec
Room.
Room.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
That's the best day.
That's the best day.
They got excited for that one.
For a
I was
lot
like,
of
let's do
yeah.
it. Let's
Which
do
is
it.
it's bittersweet though, because the first year in like 7 years that I'm not with Zay on that day.
7.
That's
What was it
Oh
called?
no,
Polly.
Kaz couldn't be with us last. Oh, Polly was with us
there
last
too.
year on that
Gravy
day.
jams and gravy and jams
Gravy and jazz. Last year was Thanksgiving, I think.
That's the biggest party day.
of the year.
Yeah, of course. But I love that day. And he's like, "Yo, I'm like, we're gonna rage, bro." Like,
Yeah, man.
I
Like,
love
let's
that
do this,
day,
man.
You guys
Let's
gotta
give
get on
Miami
stage
something
and tell
fun.
Well,
jokes, so-
we're almost sold out already. So
There you go.
that's
Well-
at least
Just sold out right now.
Boom.
there you go.
on that day, Zaya on the first night of Newstown was he almost killed the mixer. I came back the next day, remember? Full of fireball. I'm like, great
It was a good
times.
night.
Yeah, I don't remember that
Time. Anybody else would be like, you killed the mixer. I'm like, yo, the mixer's on the way. Awesome time.
A little sticky, but it's good.
Hey, but thank you guys, man.
Yeah, man.
Man,
We
thank you
appreciate
guys.
for
We
inviting
appreciate
us
it.
over,
Thank you,
man.
That was awesome. Semi Radio.
We out.
Peace.